Magnum Research goes beast mode with a rifle I'm going to call Because We Can. Coming up next on GBGuns. So this beastly gun is something a little outside of the norm for what those of you that have been with the channel for a while are used to seeing. I have this in for an article in Tactical Life magazine and wanted to give you guys a peek at it up close, since this is not the kind of thing that you'd find in your local gun shop. To bring you up to speed on how this thing came to be, Magnum Research has a custom line. Many of you are familiar with their BFR, biggest finest revolver, Magnum and rifle caliber revolvers that they've shown off on some YouTube channels. They also are doing custom rifle builds, and this thing is chambered in 28 Nosler and is a massively impressive rifle. It's a one-off. It's not even on their website, but it's because they can do it. The idea being, if you call up Magnum Research and talk to their custom shop for their Mountain Eagle rifles, you can see it there on that beautifully polished receiver, they can build you basically whatever you want. So this thing is, in my opinion, taking things to the extreme. Some of you who are more seasoned hunters will have better feedback or opinion on that. This is chambered in 28 Nosler, which is one heck of a round. To put things in perspective for you, I'm going to pull out a 308 round and zoom in for you, since everyone knows the 308 pretty well. And 308's usually around 168 grains, moving 26 to 2800 feet per second. Hard to tell because it's Remington ammo. That is 28 Nosler. This particular load is 185 grain, throwing it out at 2950 feet per second. The 28 Nosler goes into lighter rounds and I believe a few other heavier ones, but it's basically throwing 308 weight projectile at 5.56 speeds. It is a beast of a round. It being a 28 is a 7mm, so it's a little bit leaner than your 7.62. And this thing still delivers 12 gauge slug-like energy all the way out to 600 yards. When I shot this exact rifle at a media event for my publisher, we were ringing steel at 1,000 yards in 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, and no real adjustment for the wind. It was incredible. This thing just did not care. Part of that was the rifle's accuracy, and of course the other part, this chambering of 28 Nosler. 28 Nosler, of course, was created by Nosler and is loaded by them. Hornady also makes ammunition for it. We've got loads from each for the article. That target, by the way, at 1,000 yards was a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of steel, and it rang with authority every time. So about this build, it starts off with a Defiance Action. Those of you that are into precision bolt actions will be familiar with that brand. This Defiance Action has the rail machined into it, which is nice. That's one less interface that can be slightly off. So normally when you've got a drilled and tapped receiver and then you put your rail on it to then put your rings on it, each time you do that you're stacking tolerances. So having it machined in helps keep things accurate. Super smooth fluted bolt. This trigger breaks under 3 pounds. I want to say it's around 2.5. Watch this. That's it. Very, very precise trigger, which is important, especially if you're shooting 28 Nosler, which pre-panic prices was $2.50 to $4 a shot. when I've talked to experts in the long-range hunting and these bigger caliber realms, and I asked them what 28 Nosler is used for, what's the intended application, the answer I got was basically any North American game you can see. And I said, so what, like an elk at 1,000 yards? And they said, yeah, no problem. That's the kind of beast it is. So that chambering in a Defiance Action, which once again is not, I did not see that chambering as an option on Defiance's website, so that was a custom that Magnum Research set up. Then we have a BSF carbon fiber barrel. You notice it looks very, very thick. Magnum Research's own break on the end here. These BSF barrels, lead time is 12 plus weeks at the current moment, and you'll notice that the carbon fiber doesn't have that hot rice tuner nights kind of style to it. It just looks gray. That's because BSF does things a little bit differently. They say that only 5% of the carbon fiber is actually touching the rifled sleeve inside, and there's a big air channel around the barrel. Also, the carbon fiber is pre-tensioned. The reason why they do that with the gapping and the pre-tensioning is to help control heat for the actual steel barrel itself and for the carbon fiber to prevent delamination, which is the carbon fiber coming apart. And the pre-tensioning means that as the barrel heats, the rifled sleeve inside doesn't have a chance to shift. So as you've seen, like in our V7 video where we demonstrate how barrel shift can happen when barrels get hot, I think we'll start integrating that test into all of our rifle reviews as long as we have ammo to do it. This pre-tensioned barrel retains its accuracy, if not increases the hotter the barrel gets, and the barrel is going to stay cooler. Now, this being a bolt gun, probably not going to get too hot, and with the cost of this particular caliber, I don't see a lot of plinking going on, but massive barrel, custom done. Once again, BSF does not offer this chambering, so it was a collaboration between Magnum Research and BSF. And then this is an XLR Evolution Chassis, which, as you can see, has plenty of handguard. This barrel is about 24 inches long. Handguard's covered in M-LOK all the way around to add accessories where you want and reduce weight where you don't want. And we've got one of these ergo grips. This is the same grip that is on the Double Star Midnight Dragon. I love this grip. It's very comfortable. It's got swells in all the right spots, and then an adjustable cheek riser and butt plate. If you're wondering about the chattering that's going on here, well, that's because this rifle is well used. Not only has it been to at least one media event that I know of, but it's also been on some hunts and things like that. It's on loan to me for the purpose of writing that article, after which I'll of course have to send it back. If you're wondering about pricing, you're going to have to talk to Magnum Research, but I can tell you these receivers, this action is, I want to say it was $650, somewhere around there, maybe $800. Same for the chassis, and then the barrels are $650, and then you've got to get all of that put together. But beautiful, beautiful piece. Look at that bolt, and I can just finger tap it back and forth. So smooth. And this is dry. This is as shipped. We'll of course get some lube on it before the test. Plan on bringing the cameras along to show you this thing in action. I was impressed between that muzzle brake and this very generous rubber butt pad and the weight of this thing. Despite the carbon fiber barrel, it's not necessarily a lightweight rifle. It was pretty mild to shoot. It was not a terrible experience, despite that massive caliber. It might be the cartridge itself, probably a combination of several things, but really impressive piece, and like I said, something you're not going to see at your local gun store. But the point of it is, Magnum Research, if you can dream it, they will do their best to build it for you. This thing is an all custom assembly and pretty damn impressive. I've heard some people say that these Wild Magnum cartridges aren't necessarily stabilized at 100 yards, that they still need some time. We'll see. Of course, the standard for testing rifle accuracy is 100 yards. So that's what we're going to be shooting at, despite the fact that with this exact rifle, I was hitting 12-inch steel at 1,000 yards without much effort at all. Really impressive piece. I think it's pretty cool that Magnum Research, when they're known for the Desert Eagle, now they're known for their BFRs, but now they're also doing bolt actions. And you might ask, why go to them versus a local gunsmith or trying to do it at home? I would never want to do this at home, especially with the forces that are in here. But Magnum Research has the pros, and not all local gunsmiths are created equal. Some will accept a project that may be outside of their skill just to keep the business going. I don't think Magnum Research would do that. They have the experience with the big high-powered stuff. Pretty neat. This is a rifle well outside of my personal means as far as cost, but it does show you what can be done and what Magnum Research can do, and that's why I'm calling this rifle, because we can. Pretty neat piece. If you guys have any experience with these BSF barrels, Defiance Actions, or XLT receivers, let me know. I'm also curious if anyone has shot 28 nozzle or if you'd even seen that round before. But for those of you that are ballistics nerds, check out this chart. This is a lot of mass, and keep in mind this is with 185 grain. A lot of mass moving really quick, and this energy is just nuts. That is really impressive. 600 yards, almost 2,000 foot-pounds of energy. 2,000 foot-pounds is about where your 12-gauge slug hits, so that's pretty awesome to hit with 12-gauge slug energy 600 yards out. This is an incredible rifle. I'm really looking forward to shooting it, and I hope you guys enjoy learning about it. Thanks for watching.